Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Sinead Says podcast. We were on a little season break. We had like 2 weeks off for Christmas because I know what you're doing at Christmas. You aren't listening to podcasts. You are drinking. You are eating. You are having a ball. And that's the vibes. So now that it's new year, new us, it is time to get into the podcast. We go for our hot girl walks and we're back. And this week we're just going to talk about new year, like what I do every new year and how to smash your goals in this new year as well. Before we get into the podcast, we have to say a massive thank you to BetterHelp, our sponsor, which are an online therapy platform. So if you're looking to smash your goals, uncover your limiting beliefs, then therapy is the thing for you. It absolutely changed my life. It made me uncover my beliefs, get rid of the little chatter in my brain, the negative thoughts, anything that was holding me back. And I really thank therapy for where I am today as well. So if you're looking to try therapy and it's one of your New Year's resolutions, BetterHelp is so affordable. It's so easy to access. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. You can get cozy. You can be in your pajamas and it kind of removes those obstacles. So if you're looking to try, you can get 10% off your first month. That is betterhelp.com/Sinead with betterhelp.com/Sinead. And let me know if you've tried it. So let's get into today's podcast. So if you're new to the podcast and you're just starting this new year, new me, and someone's been like, oh, you need to listen to Sinead Haggerty's podcast if you're on this new vibe, let's just tell you what it's all about. Usually we're talking about self-development, psychology, human behavior, how to get the best out of our minds and brains and our relationships as well. So what we usually do is I usually do what I learned this week and I do this little section. I'm always studying, I'm always reading, I'm always learning new things about myself. And I love to tell you, like, that is my passion and my purpose. Like, I don't think I'd be reading a million things, a million books, a million courses if it wasn't for you guys, because every time I get something that I feel is going to change my life, I get so excited because I get to share it with you as well. So I usually do a little section like that. And then we do a quote of the week, and then we usually hear from you guys and we get like some dilemmas and stuff like that. So they're usually around 35 to 45 minutes, depending on if we have a guest. You know, I feel like I will have a few guests this year, but I feel like I love my little sections. I love everything about it. I love helping you guys and I love it just being really chill and relaxed in my little studio here. So we're also having a live show next week as well in Sydney at the Factory Theatre on the 15th of January. The link will be in the show notes. So if you fancy coming to see the podcast show live and do a little bit of empowering and elevating this year, then this is your chance, guys. So let's get into the podcast. What I usually do every new year is I set my goals and I love the fresh start and the fresh chapter and just taking on a brand new year. I feel like new year, new me, new hair. Got new hair at the minute, but is it given aging? I don't know. But anyway, I feel like it kind of reflects my goals this year anyway, because my goals this year are to be a little bit slower, a little bit more gentle with myself, a lot more boundaries. And I felt like my hair reflected that. So yay for my new hair. It does need dyed a wee bit, to be fair. Before we go into the new year, I want to talk about how you're feeling right now, because I know that feeling when you're feeling like absolute dog's dinner after Christmas. You've ate everything, you've drank everything, you have not done any probably that much exercise, you've probably just indulged, because that's what we do, right? And I love that December brings that let's relax, let's rest, let's rejuvenate, let's get into our resting mode. And we actually do sit back, digest, relax, maybe indulge a little bit too much. But I feel like it's needed. I feel like I love that we go straight into this in December and then we're really sick of it by January. You know what I mean? Like if you did that all the time, it just wouldn't be good vibes. I love that we just move from one shift to the other. Like we really indulge, then we're all almost sick of it. And then we get so excited for the new year. But I want to talk about how you're feeling, right? The emotions that are going through, because when you're feeling like crap, you usually feel like this feeling of guilt, right? This guilt for maybe eating too much or not exercising. And people forget that feeling of guilt is so powerful, because a lot of people don't feel that feeling. And it just means that you set your standard to yourself at a very high standard. Like you would set yourself, you're out for your walks and you eat well and stuff like that. So whenever you feel guilt for not doing that stuff, it just means you've set yourself that target. You've set yourself that standard of living, and you're just feeling unaligned with what you set your standards for. And that is very powerful, because some people don't set those standards. Some people don't have those goals. Some people don't feel that feeling of guilt or that feeling of, unalignment after the holidays. And that's the people that will continue with that same standard of the way they're going on throughout the year. So you feeling the way you're feeling right now is a vibe, guys. It's a vibe, because that means that you set yourself a high standard for yourself. So your body is telling you that you're unaligned, and every emotion has an action signal. As you will know, if you listen to this podcast, we talk about different types of emotions throughout, and every emotion has a signal. So guilt has a signal of you've kind of went against your standards, all right, or you've went against something that you or something that you value, and you feel guilty for it. So an action signal for this is to realign and look at your standards, rather realign your standards or live up to them. And that's totally fine, because when you set goals, your body is your intuitive antenna. I like to say your body is your bestie. And when you set yourself goals, your body and your mind and your emotions talk to you all the time. Whether you realize this or not, it doesn't matter, because your body makes you feel a certain way, your body and your mind and your emotions. If you set yourself a goal for going to the gym twice a week and you walk past the gym and you didn't go that second time, you're going to feel bad, because you're unaligned with the goals that you set. If you didn't care and you didn't care about the gym and it wasn't your vibe and all that, you're not going to feel that feeling walking past the gym. You're going to feel guilty. You're not going to feel shitty. You're just going to feel like nothing. And then that's the people that just continue on their life and do the same thing every day. But your feeling is good, and it's an action signal, and we're going to use that action signal to go forward, because without that, we wouldn't have any drive. We wouldn't be able to get going. So thank yourself for the feeling of feeling like crap, because that means you are aligned with a different standard. All right. And forgive yourself for all the shit that you ate and all the stuff, because it's time. It's time to take action. New year, new us. I'm obsessed with it. I was so excited for today. Today is literally the first Monday of the new year, and I am so excited to just smash my goals, get into routine, start feeling good, start feeling aligned with who I truly am, start feeling aligned with my full potential. Yeah, so that's what you got to do. You got to ask yourself, what do I want from this year? I started off with a word, which was gentle. I like the word gentle because, and I just felt like last year for me was like a rat race. I was like constantly trying to just keep up with everything. You're keeping up with the Instagram, social media, you're keeping up with just all the trends. Like for me as a person who works in social media as well, like you're keeping up all this stuff. And I was like, I just want to be a bit more gentle, and I want to actually do things that I want to do. And if people don't receive that well, then that's fine, because I just want to do what I want to do. I don't need to follow everyone and do everything that everyone else is doing. I just want to do it my way, and hope that you guys will support. So start off with a word. Last year, my word was actually routine, because I felt like I didn't really have much of a routine process when I first moved in and first moved here. So, and I honestly feel like I give myself loads of boundaries. I give myself a routine, and I stuck by that. And if people, like, for example, if you work for yourself, honestly, people just want to all the time be like, oh, do you want to do this, want to do that? And I'm like, guys, I used to be like, yeah, no problem. And then I would set myself back, whilst I did do that this year. So I'm happy with that. This year is gentle and healing for me. I feel like I went through a lot of health issues last year, and I'm still going through a lot of health issues, but this is my year of actually healing and getting into my nervous system and de-exciting and just, again, reaching my full potential, but a very different type of full potential. I feel like I was like, get up and go, get all the goals, get everything. And now I feel like I'm just so content and happy in my life, and I want to be more gentle with myself and just enjoy my surroundings and contentness, and just take everything in, and just just take moments. Do you ever just sit on a bench and just take a moment? I feel like I'm going to be doing more of that. I have been doing more of that. Just taking moments in, putting my phone down, looking outside, going for a walk, like just being fucking present in this amazing world that we live in. That is sort of mine. But then when we get to actual goal setting, I like to set myself different. I love this as well, guys, because like this is my bread and butter. So I like to set goals in different sections. All right. I do have a goal setting podcast if you wanted to listen along to that when you're doing your goals. But in short form, I split it into a few different sections: career, relationships, personal development, and money. Yeah, four. You can also do like toys, like things that you want as well. But I usually split it into the four sections of, like, for example, career. You would ask yourself, what do you want from your career this year? Like, what do you want to contribute to the world? Um, Stuff like that. You know, it's not just about money and sales. It's like, what do you want to achieve through your career? Like, do you want to achieve more confidence in what you can do? Do you want to maybe try public speaking? Do you want to challenge yourself? Um, all these things. Like, I actually go into great detail in the goal setting podcast. So if you type in goal setting, the Sinead Says podcast. So you've got relationships, career. So then in terms of relationships, right? It's something we miss out on in our goal setting because we just are always like career driven and money driven and stuff like that. But like, what do I want from my relationship and my relationships? So your friendships, like it could be your parents, your mom and dad, it can be your boyfriend, partner, your friends. Like, what do you want out of this? Do you want to be a good friend? Do you want good friends back? Um, you know, how do you want your relationship? Do you want more intimacy, more playfulness, more closeness? Do you want to experience more adventures more? And I would like be writing all this down. So if you want to be taking notes right now, that's fine. So I would do like, that's relationships. And then you've got your personal development, which is my personal fave to do my goals. So I'll be like, how many courses do I want to do? Do I want to do a degree this year? What do I want to do for myself? How many books do I want to read? Do I want to start yoga? Meditation is also massive one. People really always want to start meditation at the beginning of the new year, which I'm very obviously happy about because I'm a meditation teacher. So if you want to try meditation as well, like we have loads of courses in the show notes. So if you want to do the 21-day course, that's the 21 days that will help you build a habit. It's for beginners as well. And then we have obviously the membership hub, which is a library of meditations that will also keep you accountable because we have loads of challenges and stuff in there. You can use code MEDITATE for discount of the podcast, and that will get you, I'm feeling good today, 20% off everything. All right. So if you want to try that as well, like, so those things like with your personal development, that really excites me because I'm like, okay, if I want to do this many courses and I want to read this many books, you kind of break it up. If you want to read 10 books a year, that's, you know, around about one a month. All right. So if you want to read one book a month, then that's around, depending on what book it is, like 250 pages. So, or 200 pages. So it's 50 pages a week. So it's 10 pages a day for 5 days of the week. So I always feel like when you start breaking these things down, how can I put these habits in place? How can I achieve these goals? You'll be like, oh, right, okay, so I want to start yoga. So where am I going to start yoga? But I also want to work out 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Okay, how's this going to work out? Maybe I should not be telling myself I need to work out 5 days a week and be putting yoga in. Like, you need to be a little bit more gentle with yourself. But okay, why don't I start with 1 yoga a month or 1 yoga a week, and stuff like that, especially when it comes to like training as well. So your personal development is your training, your fitness. Like, what do you want to achieve in your fitness goals? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to just feel energized? Do you want to have a fat loss goal? All these things you can write down and you can be like, okay. Also, what was the other one? Oh yeah, money. You know, I feel like I'm kind of the person that's always tapping. All right. Like tapping. And I've been very humbled lately, guys. So Sam introduced me to credit cards because he was like, you get points and then you can like upgrade your flights and stuff like that. Obsessed with it, by the way. Got a free upgrade on the way home. I was like, unbelievable. So he introduced me to credit cards, which actually humbled me real quick, guys, because you have to pay your credit card off every month. All right. And I'm not encouraging credit cards or anything, but I obviously did it for the points and I just pay it off. So, and then I pay it off every month and I'm like, is that how much I spend every month? I go, what the fuck am I spending? What am I even buying? I don't even have anything. What do you mean? I haven't bought anything. And when I looked at it, I was like, food, eating out, drinks, Like, I was like, I've ate my money. I've ate and drank my money. So even looking at that and being, when you're writing down all your goals, okay, I have a saving goal for this month or for this year. Like me and Sam would love to buy a house next year. You know, saving for a home in Australia is really difficult. So when I actually looked at my spending, I was like, God, I could be saving a lot more here. So even for me to be like, oh, I'm going to cut back on eating out, because realistically, I'm just eating out for handiness. I'm not even eating out because I like eating out more than I like my own food. I love my own food. So like writing down your why to all your goals can really help you. So you could say, oh, money, but like you could say, oh, I want to make this much money, or I want to save this much money for my house. But okay, what is my why behind it as well? Like, do you want to have a home, a safe home for your family? Would you like your family to go on a nice holiday? Having your why behind you of all these goals that you're going to do, like your career, your relationships, your personal development, will help you through the hard stuff. So if you're looking to do a course or you want to change career, writing down, why do I want to change career without thinking about money can sometimes really help. So if you think like, I want to get up every day happy and excited, you know, so thinking about those things in the back of your head can really help you get through to your goals. But like figuring out what you truly want. Like last year I set a goal that I really wanted to hire someone else. I actually never got to that this year. I feel like everything was all go and our business never got to that point where I could hire someone new yet. So when you think about it, it's like hiring someone new and also expanding the business for me was a really important thing, because when you expand the business, you also help your employees. And that's a real big why for me as well. So instead of thinking in terms of like, how can I have more sales and more money and more whatever, it's like, how can I expand the business, and like seeing your why as, you know, helping others and contributing to the world. I'm rambling on now a little bit, but those are the sections that I like to go into. And then after every section, I always ask myself, how can I be the person that achieves these goals? So in terms of relationships, right, you're asking for all these things in your relationship. I want more intimacy. I want more date nights. I want more closeness. And you ask yourself, how can I achieve that? You're not just looking at your partner and saying, how can you give me more date nights? How can I create more closeness and more intimacy in my relationship? Right, okay, I'm going to set aside this day. I'm going to make sure that person feels secure. I'm going to buy that person a nice little gift to make sure they know about all these things that I feel about them. You know, if you want more like-minded friends and you want to be around people more like you, how can I put myself in a position to be in this goal? You know, you're not going to sit around and be like, oh, I want like-minded friends, but like you have to go to the events. You have to ask people for coffees. You have to make an effort and gain that confidence to do that. So that's what you got to do. And even like when you look at like what you want from now till next year, which you can do quantum leap meditation as well. I have one on YouTube. So you can just do like how you want to feel, be surrounded with in from this year to the next, and really feeling into those emotions will get your brain neurons firing to look out for that stuff. So if you want to be surrounded by like-minded people and you want to have certain goals, certain sales, certain things, if you actually visualize that, you write it all down, then you're more inclined every single day to look out for situations that will lead you to your goals. So if you write down, like, I really want to read this book, right? If you see that book sitting, it's the first thing you're going to see because you wrote down. So that's why you want to attract the opportunities. You can attract the opportunities by writing and getting clear on what you actually want. So that's what you need to do. Don't just go past it this year. Write down your goals, write down exactly what you want, and go wild. Limited goals create limited lives. So even when I'm doing my like vision boards and stuff this year, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't put that in, and maybe I shouldn't. And I'm like, no, Sinead, everything that you've written down throughout your goals and your life has mostly happened. You know what I mean? So write it down. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Like you've heard me say that there's some goals I didn't achieve this year, and you don't judge me for it. So don't judge yourself for it. These things like come in the time that you are ready and aligned with what's to come, in my opinion, when you're ready. But anyway, be that person. Be the person that you want to be in a year. Do your quantum leap meditations, do your meditations, and really fall into the emotions, because then your neurons will fire whenever you see that happening in real life, and you'll be able to seize that opportunity as well. Once you've started writing down all your goals, which I'm obsessed with, and also like getting really specific, getting specific. If you're someone who's in a business, like how many sales do I want to achieve by this time in next year? Then when you break it down, oh, say I want 1,000 sales, right? From between now and next year per month, what does that mean? And then per week, what does that mean? And then every week I can look and be like, right, okay, I haven't achieved my goals, or like, oh, I've achieved a little bit over this week, so maybe I don't have to do as much this week. You can do this. You need to be specific about what you truly want and be completely clear on what you want, because most of the time people don't actually know what they want. And that is usually the issue whenever like people come to me, meditation clients are like, oh, Sinead, like when I'm manifesting, I don't actually know what to manifest and I don't know what to visualize. Get clear. Sit down with yourself. Get a little bit of me time. Have new experiences in your life, because new experiences are the gateway to finding what you truly want and who you truly are, because you'll feel it in your body. As I say, your body and your emotions are your bestie. They are your intuition antenna. And be aware of how you're feeling in certain situations, because your body will tell you yes and no. Like, do you ever be around someone and you get a weird feeling about them? Like, listen, right? How do you feel around certain people? Listen to your body, listen to your emotions, and this will guide you. Listen out for the fire in your tummy. You might be listening to this podcast and be like, God, I love what she's saying. I would love to be able to do stuff like that. I'd love a podcast, fire in your tummy, fire in your tummy. Like, listen, journal, and like figure out that you can find what you truly desire and have your dream life if you just listen to yourself, listen to your body. Your body is your bestie. Okay, so then after I do all my goals, usually what I do is I script. So I script for a year ahead. So January 2026, I actually write myself a full letter like I've just did 2025. And I'm like, oh my God, what an amazing year. And honestly, guys, see the feeling that you feel when you write this, just fall into it. Like everything has happened and you're already grateful for everything that has happened. So I would write, January 2026, oh my God, what an amazing year. Can't believe it started off like this. This is how I feel. This is what happened. I'm so grateful for this moment. And then this happened. And honestly, guys, you can write for pages and pages. And honestly, don't just be like, oh, like I got this and I got that. Like fall into everything and keep writing and keep writing. Like try to write for like half an hour at least, because the feeling that you get afterwards completely raises your vibration. And again, your mind will look out for those opportunities because you wrote them down, you've felt into them, you've told your brain that you are capable and you deserve them and that you believe that you can do it. So your mind and your body will again be your bestie in figuring out where to get those opportunities. So yeah, write down a piece of paper how you want to feel in January 2026, what you've achieved, how your relationships are, what your career did, how your personal development went, between meditation, yoga classes, anything, get into it, guys, because yeah, you want to get into it. That's a little goal setting. And I also have a goal setting podcast. So you can just dive right into that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is things that you should do in your new year, like book recommendations. So a few book recommendations that I have, if you want, depending on what you want, all right. But a very good one to get into good abundance, high vibrations for me is The Magic. If you haven't read it, absolutely fabulous book and get you into this high vibration. If you're into like manifesting, anything like that, like The Magic, Asking It Is Given, very spiritual book, but also very good tools for law of attraction. Love all that stuff. I have a few books here as well. If you also have a goal of maybe not scrolling so much and not being on your phone, having these goals of having a digital detox, great book is How to Break Up with Your Phone. I actually highly recommend just doing that in Audible and just getting the steps through there. I actually read it twice because, we're all addicted to our phones and we need to get a digital detox here and there. Another few books that, Atomic Habits, if you haven't read it, very good for getting into healthy habits. Also started my business on that. A very good book. Of course, Awaken the Giant Within. I'm actually reading Women Living Deliciously. So it's kind of like, for me, it started off being a bit like, fuck man, but she does that sometimes and I love it. I love her vibe, but it wasn't really like that. It's actually really personal development and how to be the best how to get the best out of your life as a woman, which I love as well. The fact that this book is written for women. So it's called Women Living Deliciously. I'm reading it. It is a bit of it's a 500 pager, but it can be taken at stride. Also another book that I love this book. I wish I could read it again for the first time because it's called 101 Essays to Change the Way You Think. That book is just little essays and you can just pick it up and it's really easily read about how to change the way you think. Absolutely love that book. I always pick it up and I always use it in my quotes as well. Like you'll hear it all the time if you listen to this podcast. And then also like if you want to be more present in your life, anything about mindfulness. So The Power of Now, A New Earth, very spiritually, but also like absolute life-changing books, especially The Power of Now. It's all about like living in the now and love it, depending on what you want for your goals. If you want to smash your goals and get rid of your limiting beliefs, a great book is the Code of the Extraordinary Mind. And I also want to talk about obviously some things that can help you get into your healthy habits, like the Opal app. So it's a focus app. I have it on right now. So basically it deletes all your apps for a certain amount of, well, whatever hours that you want. I mean, if you really need to get back into them, yes, like you can go back into them. But it's like there's so many times I pick up my phone, and then I'm going into the Instagram app and it's like, oh no, time out. I'm like, oh, okay, no, I don't actually need to be in there. So the Opal app is also very good. I also started using the Runna app, which is like a running app. I'm obviously trying to get back into my running. Honestly, I've been slacking, kids, slacking. So the Runner app is also very good. I've been using that to get back into my running. It has like little running plans and stuff. Obsessed with it. But yeah, I feel like you can do this. We're going to smash it. And if you want to try meditation, of course, as well, we have the meditation courses. I always say as well, like I hate like drilling meditation down people's necks because I'm just like, I don't want to feel like I'm saying something, but obviously it's been such a life-changing experience for me to have meditation, to be studying it for the last 6 years. I'm going to study another thing in March actually, hopefully in Sri Lanka. So I will be coming back with lots of new knowledge and lots of new research. A few things that I do want to say is that you can reinvent yourself at any time if you believe that you can do it. Having the self-belief that you can do it is very important. So you need to understand your limiting beliefs as well of, you know, you can do things and there's people that have done it before. So always look into your role models and know that the person that believes they can just do it. And that's sort of the difference between sort of the old you and the new you. The new you is you can believe that you can do it. And I also wanted to note as well is that in January, a lot of people just go into goals like, oh, I'll go to the gym 5 days a week. I'll do this. But you end up absolutely fucking exhausted. You're probably not eating enough and you're crab at and you're annoyed. And I feel like you just need to slowly build up to where you are. All right. And that's why I say, like, when you're trying to read a book, you know, don't go in and try and read a whole chapter in a day or a whole book in a week. Like, pick it up. 2 pages a day will turn into 5, will turn into 10. And when you read 10 pages a day, you will read many, many books over the year. So always start slow because I feel like slow and small always makes you feel good, gets your dopamine going, your serotonin going. So don't be going in with like, oh, I need to run for an hour and do all this. I feel like just take it slow and slowly but surely you'll be hanging around with your higher self more and more. And then that becomes addictive. So slowly but surely just be adding these goals in. Don't be going at this massive freaking, like, I always think, how do people do 75 hard after Christmas? Surely you're exhausted, you're tired, you're crab it. How do people do it? I do not know. And I feel like anytime I try to set those crazy, crazy goals, I always end up disappointing myself. So start small, a few workouts, a few pages of a book, a short meditation. Like we have short meditations in our app as well. You can go into like the less than 10 minutes section. We have over 75 meditations now. So there's loads to choose from if you want to get into that. Understand what you want to do, why you want to do it, and get very clear and write down why you want to make these changes, which brings me into the quote of the week. The quote of the week is, nothing changes if nothing changes. If you want something to change this year, you have to change your habits. And for me, it always begins with your habits. I feel like my whole life transformed when I added reading, meditation, and self-development into my life. So make little changes, and then slowly but surely these little changes will make a massive shift in your life. So nothing changes if nothing changes. And I just want to say Happy New Year and thank you so much for the year that we've had. We're an independent podcast, me and Kai. So any sort of sharing or, you know, sharing with your friends or anything like that. This year we're going to be talking a lot about human behavior as well. I think next week we're going to talk about the meal brain because I thought it would be really good to get different perspectives. We're going to have a few guests, and honestly, if you like this podcast, please just like and share, give us a review, hit the follow button, hit subscribe, and yeah, Happy New Year, guys. Have a good one.